Notre Dame's offense just got a lot better with the commitment that we're going to talk about in today's video. Folks, please do hit the thumbs up on this. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Go to blueandgold.com for so much more coverage on the news. And yes, it is Julius Jones Jr. from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, St. Thomas Aquinas. His father is Julius Jones Sr., a star running back for Notre Dame in the early 2000s. This Tyler James is been the biggest recruit in terms of fan interaction that I have seen this cycle. It's been like Joey O'Brien last year. Like there's always that one guy who's the most talked about, the most wanted. And from what I've seen, it's been Julius Jones, the top 100 prospect in the 2027 class, according to the Rivals Industry ranking, number 81 overall player, number 14 wide receiver, 5'10", 170 pounds. Not a tall guy, but man, is he a dynamic athlete. So we're going to talk about this recruiting win and a lot of different aspects of this. But let's first just go to the film, Tyler. What do you see on his junior tape?
Yeah, a lot of speed, a lot of playmaking ability. He makes contested catches. Like you mentioned, he's not the biggest receiver, but he will fight for balls and be able to jump up and get them and make catches that you're like, wait, how did he get that?
And that's probably against two power four guys at modern day.
Yeah,
right
at modern day. Yeah. We're talking about St. Thomas Aquinas playing great competition, not only in their state, but out of state as well. And he runs by guys with his speed. He has good technique in his route running that allows him to get open. He can make plays after the catch like we see here. He can do a lot of different things. Like he'll take a short slant route, and then all of a sudden he's just burning and eating up grass and getting into the end zone. Like watch this, he just sort of accelerates and see you later.
Easy.
And it makes things look easy. And a great get for Notre Dame. Like I've been saying for months that this is the most important recruit for Notre Dame in this cycle because it's a position of need, a legacy recruit. Like you would hate to lose Julius Jones's son, who's a very talented wide receiver, to someone else, and to get him in Notre Dame. That is so. Yes, maybe Notre Dame had some advantages in this recruitment, but that doesn't make him less important because Notre Dame needs to continue to sign high-level receivers. Needs to continue to recruit into St. Thomas Aquinas. We're starting to see that happening with more success in this recruiting cycle, and a lot to like here about Julius Jones Jr.
Yeah, when you just watch his tape, it's like this is someone who, in my 7 years covering Notre Dame football recruiting, like the fans have just been dying for. Like, please just get me a game-breaking wide receiver.
Right.
And he's everything you can ask for as a slot and then potentially field guy at times, like kind of like Jordan Faison. I think he could do that, but he's probably more of a slot guy at the next level. Thinking and put you on the spot with this, and we just have a conversation about it. Like thinking back in recent years, like who has Notre Dame signed as a wide receiver is more dynamic than Julius Jones Jr. Assuming he signs with the Irish, right? We got several months until sign day, but I'm gonna guess that he does sign with the Irish. But I don't know who's more of an electric, dynamic athlete than Julius Jones Jr. I don't know if there is somebody.
Yeah, it's I'd be hard pressed to name someone. Like they've definitely had very prolific guys. I guess. I mean, in the last class, Bubba Frazier is kind of a freak athletic. He's even smaller than Julius Jones.
Yeah,
and so I think that put it like knocks him a peg down. But yeah, he's got some freakish athleticism too. And so, but yeah, there's Notre Dame just doesn't get guys like this because the guys who tend to be like the good guys, like a Caden Finley or like Jaden Greathouse, like those guys are very highly productive high school players, great players that can be great college players, but just maybe don't have the same like game breaking ability that we've seen from Julius Jones at the high school. Bigger and then sometimes they like to play him in the slot.
Sure.
But yeah, he's been St. Thomas Aquinas' leading receiver each of the past 2 seasons. He had 51 catches for 750 yards and 8 touchdowns as a sophomore, and 58 catches for 876 yards and 14 touchdowns. So, I mean, he's averaging like 15 yards a catch. So he's doing a lot of damage against opposing secondaries and helping his team out in a significant way.
Yeah, probably only playing half of those games too, because so many of them are blowouts. Like I've seen Julius Jones in person a couple times. This was at the Future 50 last year in a 7-on-7 where he was just electric. This like just making contested catches, and then do you think he gets his foot down in bounds? See,
It looks like it.
yeah, that yellow line is in bounds. So he was terrific this game. Man, I'm so impressed with him. It's not only like the athleticism and the speed, it is just the silky smooth route running. Like that one play where he ran that slant, and I was like, man, he just looks easy. He just accelerates. Like he sets up the route like he's like he's gonna block, and then just just zooms past the linebackers and then past the safeties. Man, he is just he's electric, and I think the world of Julius Jones as a player. The one thing that I want to push back on from some folks will be like, well, I mean, who's his dad? Of course he's going to go to Notre Dame. This is the name that came to my mind. It was like Bobby Taylor. That's a former Notre Dame All-American. His son was a top recruit. He was is that 2021 or 22 class? And maybe you can point to the Irish maybe didn't do a great job recruiting the staff, whatever. But he showed no interest in Notre Dame, Bobby Taylor Jr. He just did not. I don't think he visited campus as a recruit. And it's like, yeah, just because you're a legacy does not mean you're like a lock to go to that school, especially like Richie Flanagan, James Halter. It's like, all right, offensive lineman. All right, you would expect some of those guys to end up at Notre Dame, like basic locks. But a Julius Jones Jr. down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with all of the elite offers, like Notre Dame did have a built-in advantage, like you mentioned. But I don't think that. I do think that a lot of fans and maybe some media are like downplaying, like, oh yeah, the Notre Dame should have won this battle, because I think that diminishes how good of a job that the Fighting Irish staff did. Like Miami, local school, pushed really hard, and a lot of legacy kids don't want to go to their father's school.
He visited a lot of those other schools probably as much or if not more than Notre Dame. Like he didn't visit Notre Dame a ton. It wasn't like he was here a lot.
Yeah, he visited Notre Dame last fall for the A&M game, returned for a spring visit. Now we're recording this video before his official visit. So this number is really 3 that you guys see here because he was in town for the June 19th weekend. But yeah, I mean, this only says 3 visits for Miami. I would imagine it's a lot more. But yeah, it's not like he visited Notre Dame a ton. So he was at the in-state schools a lot more. And so Oregon was a school that it felt like was Notre Dame's biggest competition, but then he cancels that visit. So it really came down to Notre Dame and Miami, and the Irish stuffed the Hurricanes in a locker on the recruiting trail. We'll see what happens on the field this fall. Notre Dame's about a touchdown favorites. As we stand in the summer in that game, but Notre Dame looking to get their revenge on the Canes for that loss last year. But anyways, Tyler, yeah, it's a strong recruiting win. And before I throw it back to you, I want to make this comment. If you had to pick any school in the country for Notre Dame to build a pipeline at, for me, it's St. Thomas Aquinas. It's one of the best schools in the country for football. It's a Catholic school down in a loaded area. So Notre Dame's got Julius Jones Jr. committed now, and his best friend, Zayden Gamble, a 4-star safety who picked the Irish over Florida, Ohio State, Miami, other big-time programs. This is fantastic for the Irish to start to build a pipeline there.
Yeah, it's the perfect recruit for Notre Dame in this cycle. I think it's interesting in the conversation of what Notre Dame has chosen to do in terms of the number of receivers it wants to add in this cycle. I think that's a debatable topic in terms of what Notre Dame is deciding to do and going shorter on numbers in this class after obviously bringing in a lot of guys in the last class and bringing in a couple of young transfers. And so Notre Dame is doing a good job of sort of rebuilding its wide receiver room, because that was obviously a position of need. It's a position that Notre Dame has continually had to go to the transfer portal to, because it just doesn't feel like it has enough talent in its room. And so now it's going to have some more young options than maybe having to lean on graduate transfers moving forward.
Yeah, so it is just a two-man wide receiver class. I thought for a while there it would be three. I liked where the Irish were at. We're still Sonny Gales, but that one, I think, part Notre Dame was good with two, and Jackson Coleman, who can really stretch the field, an exciting pass catcher from Colorado, and Jones. Like I think they felt good about the two, and yeah, they got a lot of young guys. You look at the transfer receivers they got in Graham and Porter have 3 or right. Porter's just got 3 years of eligibility, right?
Yeah, I think they both
And
have 3 left.
okay. So usually it's that 1 year rental at wide receiver, but these guys are young, plus signing 5 in the last class.
Well, and then you're gonna have 5 years of eligibility by the end of this summer, probably anyway. So based on the rule change,
so smaller receiver class. I still think I thought they were going to get Gales for a little while there, but yeah. So just a 2-man haul, but it's a good duo with Jones and Coleman. Coleman, I think, is going to be shooting up the rankings this fall. I mean, those track numbers that he had were quite impressive at what is he? He's like 6'4", 200 pounds. So anyways, yeah, Julius Jones, big commitment. Fighting Irish fans, let us know what you think about this win in the comments section of this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel for more content. We have much more coverage of this massive recruiting win over at blueandgold.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, we will catch you next time.